Welcome back, everyone. The stress you're under on a daily basis could lead to clinical depression, obesity, chronic illness, even life-threatening diseases. It's a real serious thing. Joining us this morning with tips to de-stress your life is Dr. Jim LaValle, founder of LaValle Metabolic Institute and author of Cracking the Metabolic Code. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Great being here.
I wish I could be in your office and we could talk just about me, because apparently I am the test case.
You're it.
Yeah, but first, you're known as the metabolic investigator.
Right.
Tell us what that means and what you do.
Well, basically what I do is I tear people's chemistries apart. I really look at what's going on in their blood work. A lot of times what happens is that your blood work may not show that you have an illness, but you could be trending towards things going wrong. And so it's kind of looking at all the aspects of your chemistry. What do you feel like? Hey, I'm having trouble sleeping at night. I'm gaining weight. I'm not feeling good. What's leading you to make your chemistry behave the way it does? And so that's why I call myself a metabolic investigator.
We talked about obesity. We named a couple of things. But how dangerous really is stress for you?
Well, you're not going to avoid stress, especially in these times. But the thing is how do you deal with it? And sometimes it's just not enough to go, oh, I'm going to go run on a treadmill. You got to make sure you get sleep. You've got to make sure you watch the sugar and the caffeine intake, because it's real common for people to reach for caffeine and sugar when they get under stress. One gives you a bump in energy. The other one soothes your mood. You're going for that sugar because it makes your brain feel a little better. And you got to watch eating those foods, because those foods are going to lower your immunity. You're going to put weight on. And the big issues are, of course, when you don't, if you don't get enough sleep, 73% more likely to become obese.
Really?
Absolutely.
And see, it seems to me like it's a vicious cycle. You don't get the sleep, you need the caffeine, and it just keeps going around and around and around. I was reading, you're going to take us through this mini stress test.
Sure.
And I was reading what you sent ahead, and I got to 1, and I said, okay, I got to 2, I got to 3. I got to 5, and I got scared. Right. Because this is me. I eat too much sugar, okay? I need caffeine because I'm on this early shift frequently. We notice every once in a while I will snap unnecessarily at someone I love. It happens. Is that why you don't? Maybe that's why I don't snap at you, Michelle. At any rate, you see the factors, and I would think a lot of people will relate to that. A lot of people will say, "Wow, that's me."
Exactly.
If that's them, what do you do?
Exactly. Well, the first thing is do you crave foods, especially carbs and sweets? Even more so during the late afternoon. So that's a big issue.
After 4 o'clock?
After 4 o'clock, if you're going home and you look at the cookie jar and you go, you know what, 1 feels good, but 5 feels great, stress is probably affecting you.
Really?
Are you snapping at your family members? Do you get more colds and flus than you used to? Those are important things.
And you say that has to do a lot with sleep, too. You don't get enough sleep, it affects your immunity.
Literally, a big study just came out and showed that when you don't get enough sleep, as little as 10 minutes less sleep on an average will end up being a 3.5 time more likelihood for colds, 40 minutes less sleep than average because of being under chronic stress, 5.5 times more likely to get a cold.
So the key outside of it seems to be sleep. If you can figure out a way to sleep. You brought a couple of products with us. I asked you if you brought melatonin because someone told me that really helps.
Right.
But a couple of other products, the natural products you say help.
Sure. There's a couple things that I like using in the practice. One is a plant extract called Relora. And Relora helps dampen your stress response. So we may not be able to change the fact that you're busy and you're getting in here early and you're jacked up, right? But we can change your body's response to it. Very interesting plant extract. UCLA has done some studies with it. Pretty interesting. Okay. The other one, melatonin, incredibly effective for a lot of people. Some people may get, twilight dreaming from it. But for the most part, melatonin's important. It's what quiets your brain down at night and tells your brain to go into deep sleep.
Just in the last few seconds, the last one, because we have...
Sure, Sleep Solve. Very interesting product. Combination of a plant that calms your brain down, but in addition to that, it has some 5-HTP in it, which builds serotonin. Right. It's going to make you crave less.
Well, it's all eye-opening information, and I'm sure many people that are watching us right now are going to relate to it. Doctor, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks.
We've put a link to the tips and to Dr. LaValle's website on our website. Just go to 7online.com, click it on the See It on TV link on the upper right-hand side of the page. It'll get you to weekend morning interviews and tips, and then you can go through this when you have a little bit more time and see what will work for you. We'll be right back with a look at this morning's top story.